Oda just revealed the rarest race in the entire One Piece world, and it's so wild, fans thought it had to be a joke. But no, it's real, it's canon, and it might secretly change everything we thought we knew about Elbaf and the final saga. In Volume 112's SBS, Oda casually confirmed the existence of a race so absurd it almost breaks the laws of biology, the Dosundada. A child born from a giant and a Tontada? Yeah, those two. But here's the crazy part. Yes, this isn't just a throwaway gag. This could be the key to a much bigger story Oda's been hiding in plain sight for years, and what it means might blow your mind. It's easy to get distracted by the chaos of the seas, the bounties, the devil fruits, but underneath all that, Oda's been quietly weaving a story about love. Not just romantic love, but something deeper. The kind of love that breaks barriers, crosses borders, and shatters generational hate. And you see it most clearly when you look at the races of the One Piece world. Despite the prejudice, despite the history of discrimination between species, there are people who choose love anyway. And not just emotionally, physically. They build families, share cultures, and raise kids who don't belong in just one box. They create something new. And at the center of that story, Oda finally gave us a name. Dosundada, a race born from love, and until now completely shrouded in mystery. But it turns out, we've been looking in the wrong place the whole time. Scopper Gabon isn't just a legend because he was the left arm of the Pirate King. The man's literally known as the missionary of love. That's what they call him. Not because he preaches, but because he lives it, fully, freely, without shame. He married Ripley, a giant woman, and the two raised a family that defied the logic of every race in the world. And what's wild is, he's not the only one. According to Gabon, there are all kinds of people who did the same. Buccaneers, Wotans, and now Dosundada. But here's the twist. Dosundada aren't a giant mix. Not even close. For years, fans had theories. Some thought Dosundada were a mix of ancient giants and dwarves, like some secret relic of the Void Century. Others thought they were another failed experiment from Punk Hazard or Egghead. But in SBS Volume 112, Oda finally put the rumors to rest. And honestly, it was way simpler than we expected. Dosundada are just a mixed race between humans and dwarves. That's it. No Void Century twist, no Celestial Dragon cover-up. Just a human and a Tontada falling in love and having a kid. Kinda beautiful, right? And even the name has meaning. Oda explained that Tontada, the name of the dwarves, and was based on the soft, cute sound of their footsteps. The Tontada tribe are the dwarf inhabitants of the Tontada kingdom hidden beneath Greenbit. Named after the onomatopoeia Tontata, the tiny sound their footsteps make, their world is a testament to resilience and unity. Despite their small stature, they're astonishingly strong, able to fling full-grown humans, move with lightning speed, and trained in a unique martial art known as Tontada combat, which blends flips, spins, and fierce tail attacks like the Shippo hammer. We first meet them during Dressrosa's arc, where alongside Usopp and Robin, they play a key role in overthrowing Doflamingo and rescuing Princess Mancherry. Their story is one of hope. After centuries of slavery under the Don Quixote family, they reclaimed their freedom and built a vibrant kingdom beneath the forest's roots. Even after liberation, they remain charmingly gullible, believing incredible stories at the drop of a hat, which ironically helps them both mythologize and survive. Dosundada carry mostly dwarf-like physical traits. Small stature, pointed noses, bushy tails, and sometimes even wings, such as in the case of Charlotte Normande. Their name follows the same onomatopoeic logic as Tontada. Dosundada mimics a heavier, more resonant footstep, stronger than a dwarf, but still rooted in that world of tender sounds. Despite their gentle origins, Dosundada are considered rare and yet recognized enough to be compared to other hybrids like Buccaneers and Wotans. That little linguistic trick? Pure Oda genius. But wait, that wasn't even the rarest thing Oda revealed. In the same breath, he dropped one of the rarest race combos in the series, something that might even be too crazy for the story to show. A child born from a giant and a dwarf. Like, think about that. That's a wild size difference. That race is called the Dosundada tribe, and apparently they exist, but they're almost myth-level rare. Oda didn't give us a face, a name, or even a hint if we've seen one. He just dropped the name like a breadcrumb and dipped. Classic Oda move. Alright, this might actually be the most unhinged thing Oda has ever confirmed. And that's saying a lot for a series where a skeleton plays the violin and souls get stored inside teacups. Dosundada. This race is real, canon, and possibly the strangest biological fusion in all of One Piece. A 20-meter-tall colossus and a palm-sized, 20-centimeter-tall forest sprite made a baby. And you just gotta stop and think about that for a second. That's a size difference of 100 times. Not 10, not 50, 100. Like, how did that even work? How did they meet? How did they fall in love? And I'm just gonna say it, how did they physically do it? Like, respectfully. Oda, what are you trying to imply here? Are giants just that gentle? Are tontadas secretly built differently? There are so many logistics I'm scared to imagine, but somehow it happened. And the fact that Oda gave it an actual name, Dosundada, makes it even funnier. Because just like tontada came from the soft sound of their footsteps, and Dosundada came from a heavier version, Dosundada sounds like a literal earthquake every time they walk. It's such a ridiculous escalation, and it kind of makes you wonder what the hell that child even looks like. Are they massive with fairy wings? Are they small with giant strength? Do they even have a consistent height, or do they randomly grow in bursts like Chopper on Rumble Balls? We haven't seen one in the story yet, or maybe we have and just didn't know it, but the possibility is out there now, just floating in the narrative like Chekhov's most chaotic gun. And knowing Oda, he doesn't name things without a reason. But either way, the idea that the rarest race in the entire One Piece world comes from this kind of union? It's so peak Oda. A little bit weird, completely heartwarming, and somehow still layered with lore. And this is important, because when Oda chooses to name something, especially something this rare and weird, he usually has a reason. The Dosundada aren't just biologically confusing, they're narratively loaded. They exist. They're part of the ecosystem. And the fact that they're so rare, that just makes them even more suspiciously important. Like, why create a race that's borderline impossible to exist, unless you plan to do something wild with it later? What's even more interesting is that some official commentary has called them legendary rare, which basically puts them into mythical territory. So rare that it's not even clear if we've ever seen one on screen. And maybe we haven't. Or maybe we have, and Oda's just sitting there laughing while we completely miss it. That's exactly the kind of long-game troll he's famous for. There's even been some fan buzz online suggesting that certain characters, like Usopp or even Kaku, might secretly be descendants of a Dosundada. Now, obviously, that's total speculation. There's zero hard evidence, but the fact that the theory even exists tells you something. The fandom wants to believe there's more to this race than just a quirky name and impossible biology. It makes you wonder, is Oda setting up for a surprise reveal down the line? Is there a Dosundada hiding in plain sight? And honestly, Oda has always used sound symbolism for the dwarf races. Tontada for tiny footsteps, Dosundada for something heavier, and now Dosundada, which literally sounds like a walking landslide. So just from the name, we're talking about something that probably looks like a walking contradiction, small enough to reflect the Tontada side, but heavy enough to shake the ground like a giant. That's such a cool visual contradiction, and it makes you wonder, what would a Dosundada fight like? Would they be insanely fast and ridiculously strong? Would they have some hybrid mutation the world hasn't seen yet? Like, imagine someone with Chopper's size-shifting abilities, but naturally. That's nuts. There's also this lingering question of why Oda would even introduce this now. We're deep into the final saga. Every character showing up from now on either matters or is secretly setting up someone who will. And considering how often Oda uses race and heritage to drive the story, like with King being a Lunarian or Kuma's lineage as a buccaneer, the timing here feels intentional. Even if we haven't seen a Dosundada yet, the moment Oda named them, it planted a seed. A weird little hybrid seed with legs the size of trees and a tail like a raccoon. What if the Dosundada are tied to something ancient? Something the world government tried to erase, just like they did with the Lunarians. We already know they hate hybrids. They view them as unnatural. The fact that the Dosundada exist might not just be rare, it might be taboo. And if that's true, then there's a good chance the very existence of this race is going to tie into something huge. Whether that's the Void Century, Joy Boy, or even the origins of Devil Fruits. And, okay, maybe that's a stretch, but in a world where Sanji's a genetically modified clone kid and Chopper is technically a reindeer with human powers, nothing feels impossible anymore. And the thing that drives fans crazy, in the best way, is knowing we might not get the payoff for another 100 chapters, but it'll hit when it does. The Dosundada might feel like a footnote now, but so did Joy Boy at first. So did Imu. So did Sun God Mika. And look where that took us. So maybe this is just a cute concept Oda had fun naming. Or maybe, just maybe, we're about to meet a walking symbol of harmony between the most opposite races in the world, and that character could end up tipping the scales in the war to come. Either way, I'm not trusting Oda when he says something is just a little detail anymore, because every little detail has turned out to be a bombshell. We don't want to get surprised again every time Oda drops the truth on every detail in arcs that will come. If Imu's a male, if Imu's Luffy's mom, some fans think that way and not Miss Crocodilo.